UFC 322 has wrapped up about a day ago, I'll be honest. I've been quite busy, so I haven't been able to get around to the shooting this video. But here we are. We'll go ahead and get started. I did decent on the card. I want to say 10-4. I'm not going to try to keep count through the video, but we can go ahead and jump straight into the early prelim opener of Vyacheslav Borshev versus Matheus Camilo. This was a very close fight. I'm not sure if I saw anybody saying robbery, but I kind of had a gut feeling after watching round 2 and 3. But I think Camilo, even though getting outstruck, not by a crazy amount, 30 strikes is kind of crazy. The wrestling did it for him. 2 takedowns round 1, 2 takedowns round 2, 1 takedown round 3. It just looks better to the judges. It was a unanimous decision. It was a good fight. They were both hitting each other with solid shots. I think there was blood coming out of the nose of Borshev towards the end of the fight. But a really good fight between both of these guys. Borshev held his own. I thought he was going to get steamrolled, but to be fair, I wasn't familiar with Camilo's lack of game. But yeah, we get that pick right. It was a decent fight to open the card. It wasn't great, but they stood on the feet for the most part. So I'm sure the fans were entertained. Sorry, I got some air caught down the wrong side of my throat. But we move up to the next fight. I'm very tired. Vasyang Susakai versus Eric McConaughey. We got this one right as well. It didn't look so good early. Obviously, it was a close competitive fight. It's not like McConaughey really got that much off. Round 1 favored Susakai takedowns and strikes. No takedowns and a lot closer on the feet in the second round. That's when I started to wonder, this will probably go to a decision. I think I was watching this on the drive home from work. But come round 3, so there's a groin shot. McConaughey looked like he blatantly groin shot. He was about to get TKO'd up against cage. Just fires a leg kick up the middle. And they were like, it's an accident. Hey, Steel Cups, help with that, man. They're like, it's an accident. But it's like, in what situation where you're here, a guy's a foot, few inches from you trying to pocket, box your head off, is a kick directly up the middle, I'm shaking my desk. What kind of strike is that? I feel like that was personally kind of intentional to get the heat off him. But he fucked up. He gave Susakai some steam back. And then he also got hit with a slight nut punch in an exchange, which gave Susakai all the energy he needed to go out there and finish the fight. I think it was a 1 slip, 2, something like that. Slip, jab, uppercut. I can't quite recall what the setup was, but I just know that clubbing right hand spun McConaughey's jaw. I think it was a good stoppage. Sure, there could have been some more ground and pound strikes, but why are prelim guys supposed to die? But yeah, great win for Susakai. Middleweight, he still needs some work. This was a competitive fight on the feet for the most part, and he started to look like he was gassing in round 3, but the time between both groin shots maybe gave him a second win. But it's still a really good outing for Susakai. I'll probably pick him in the future unless they spike him up the rankings against some phenom or well-established 85er. But yeah, good for him. We move on. Angela Hill versus Fatima Klein. We got this right. Old Angela Hill Unk. Same thing. Just got wrestled, got volume punched. Almost got TKO'd in round 3. I say TKO. She just didn't respond to 20 hammer fists, and the crowd started getting loud. This could be. And then I just went to a decision. But it was a really good fight from Klein. I don't think, there was no knockdowns. She was dominating the grappling, though. 4 takedowns to 0. No reversals from Angela Hill, and beat her in the total strikes as well as significant strikes by about the same margin, which is pretty respectable. Great showing for Fatima Klein. Let's get her someone higher up in the rankings next. I don't even know if Hill's in the rankings. And I understand Hill's kind of a journey woman, but that doesn't mean that she's just going to... She's not Neil Magny. She's not going to show these young whippersnappers how it's done. I don't think there really is a gatekeeper in women's MMA. I think it's always a coin toss. You never really know what's going to happen. But yeah, Klein just put it on her with wrestling, kept popping her head back. 89 strikes to the head. CT everybody, you know what I mean? But yeah, great one for Fatima Klein. Don't have much else to say about this fight. It was a bit how you going. But we move on to the next fight. Pat Sabatini versus Shep Mariscal. I took Shep as an underdog here, and I got it wrong. But it was a close fight, don't get me wrong. The takedowns will definitely make me look stupid there for eating my words. This was kind of a boring fight when you look at it. 7 significant strikes, 7 to 12. Obviously, total strikes, they were throwing a good bit, trying to dog it out, but the ones that really mattered came from Sabatini. No knockdowns, but a grappling clinic. Round 1 got 2 takedowns, round 2, 4, and then obviously 1 in round 3. Strikes were pretty even for the times that they were going, even favoring Mariscal in the second round. But he just didn't do enough. I thought it was a close fight, but I felt Pat looked better. He was constantly putting Mariscal in bad positions, had his back glued to him all through round 1. It felt like... I think if Mariscal had maybe hurt Pat Sabatini, or at least just won a grappling exchange and held him down for a bit longer, maybe they could have thrown him a split decision, but unanimous decision for Pat Sabatini. Decent showing. I'm not sure what's next for Pat. He's got good finishing instinct, and Diego Lopez's win over him is still aging really well. Shep Mariscal, let's just get him back in there. He didn't take too much damage. I'm sure he's eager to prove that he's still like an up-and-comer and established. I don't think he's going to go on some crazy downfall spiral. But yeah, let's get Pat Sabatini someone in like top 10, maybe top 15. I don't think Mariscal was ranked before this, so maybe a bit of a jump up in competition. But we move on. Kyle Dawkins versus GM3. We got this right. Unfortunately, it did not go to round 3. So GM3 did not get it done. Slept him. Just slept him, pretty much. I mean, I think there was a bit of grappling, considering there was a sub-attempt. But yeah, GM3 got knocked down. I can't remember what it was. I'm such a casual. I'm just so tired. I was very hyped when it happened. I was sad for GM3, but I was hyped for Dawkins just because it was a good knockdown, and Mearshart did not look good. He got ground and pound finish there. There's not much to say about this fight considering it was 50 seconds, but a really good showing for Kyle Dawkins. He seems to have kind of come into his own. Not saying Mearshart's a world beater or that it means something when you I mean, I think it means something if you KO him that quick, because Rayner didn't even do that good against him. Granted, Mearshart's been on a downfall since that fight, so everybody changes. But a good win for Dawkins nonetheless. Crisp knockout. Let's get him one more guy outside the rankings before we try to push him a little bit harder, considering he's, I want to say 2-2 in his last 4, and those 2 that he lost were some pretty bad beatdowns. So yeah, slight jump up in competition for Kyle Dawkins, but looking forward to it. We move on to the prelim. I guess that was the early prelim, so the prelim opener. Sorry, I got this wrong. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Ethan Ewing. Great showing for Ethan Ewing. He was just ahead of Malcolm Wellmaker, striking, mixing up clinching, takedowns. Just kept the pressure on him. He looked really good. Granted, people can say it was on 48 hours notice. Yes, very impressive. But how was Wellmaker, even though he was had a fight scheduled? This is his 4th replacement. I mean, I'm sure he probably was about as he literally said, I know about as much as my opponent as y'all do. So clearly he didn't know, he wasn't familiar with Ethan Ewing's game, his ability to mix it up, his aggressive striking on the feet despite being the smaller man, and his ability to get on the inside with wrestling and keep you down when he wants to. Malcolm was doing pretty good. It wasn't domination. It wasn't really a fraud check. He just was a step behind. A takedown secured every round. Clearly Ewing would strike, get the takedown, strike on the ground, and just really put it on him. Wellmaker will be back for sure, but Ewing's someone to look out for. I really hope that wasn't just a fluke because of the short notice and Ewing goes on this spiral downwards against comp around Wellmaker's level. But I think it was just a fresh fight for both gentlemen, and maybe Ewing was a bit better coming off of a KO on the regional scene a week ago. But still, not a crazy stock drop for Wellmaker. I'm sure there's still some hype around him considering this was his 4th opponent replacement. I don't know how much you can know about a 4th line replacement on that. But again, great showing for Ethan Ewing. I'm excited to see what he's able to do in the UFC. We move on. We got this right. Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. Round 1 was pretty good. I understand the significant strikes favor Blanchfield, but it just looked like Cortez was doing more on the feet, and there wasn't... She didn't even get a takedown. How'd she get a sub-attempt and a reversal? Nobody got a takedown. Did they just fall? I can't remember. But, yeah, round 2 comes around. Aaron Blanchfield really starts to get the momentum going, the ball rolling, and Tracy Cortez can't just shake her ass in some tight shorts anymore. I'm joking. She's a very good fighter for the caliber she's at. And she was doing good on the feet initially, but kept getting taken down. And then eventually got her back taken. Blanchfield kind of fell off to the side, but readjusted and was able to keep that grip in, and I think got the rear naked choke in round 2. So really good win for her. Obviously, Tracy Cortez isn't somebody you beat and be like, I want a title shot. I think Blanchfield tried. Was it against Fiora or something? She was almost there, and then she faced a setback, and now she's looking good. Let's get her 1, maybe 2 more fights where she looks really good and proves that she's worthy for the next title shot. Because isn't flyweight... God, I feel like... Yes, flyweight Shevchenko's division, sorry. It's just... I'm very tired. Yeah, Shevchenko's hard to beat. She's really good at the crucifix. She's just going to ground and pound. She's going to stay still and wait for you to do something. And then counter really good. It's really boring, but it works. We'll get to the main event. But yeah, great showing for Aaron Blanchfield. Let's get her a few more, though. We move up the card. Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez. Let me be clear, we got this right. Obama looked good. I really thought there was going to be a KO here. Just, But Chase Hooper. Roman Kopylov looked decent. I mean, he was slinging that head kick. He was striking with Rodriguez for the most part. Definitely the numbers favored Rodriguez, but 2 takedowns earlier from Kopylov. They got it almost in a sub-attempt from Rodriguez, so that was a bit of a hairy moment, but Full fight, I mean, 52 to 90, pretty big difference in the significant strikes. Round 1 looks about the same. I mean, Kopylov got the takedown, but Rodriguez landed more. It was a unanimous decision, so maybe 29-28, maybe 30-27. I think it was 30-27 on one of the cards. But it looks like a takedown ended up in a sub attempt for Rodriguez on bottom here, which looks good, as well as outstriking him on the feet significantly as well. Just adding up in front of the judges, really showing him that you're doing enough when you're in bad positions to take away the weight of those positions when you're doing good in good positions. Yeah, round 3 comes around and it's just full steam ahead for Rodriguez. He's got Kopylov on the back foot, flinching. Again, he went for another sub attempt. I'm sure they had some weird clinch because neither men got a takedown. But it was a good decision. It was a good fight by both men. I think Rodriguez definitely had better output, and which clearly showed. He was a bit more willing to dog it out. He did look tired at the end of the second and going into the third round. But he picked it up. I mean, 5 rounds against Jared Cannonier would put, anybody out of breath. But I think this shows that he's still good. He's still got it. He's got some things to work on. I felt like he should have got the finish in this. But maybe Kopylov's just better than we thought despite his recent losses and performances. But yeah, great win for Gregory Rodriguez. We move up the card to the final. This was good. Bo Nickal versus Rodolfo Vieira. I had Bo Nickal to win. I probably said sub or decision. But he got the KO. It was beautiful. My friends and I were looking away the moment it happened. We looked back and Rodolfo's falling to the canvas. So seeing the replay, we were like, did he get him with a really good uppercut, a hook? Did he what happened? And it was a head kick, which we haven't seen out of Bo Nickal, and this is a really good statement to say, I'm back like I was never gone, because I don't think a loss to RDR, despite the GM3 comment earlier. Allen's good, and RDR was on his 5th fight in a year. It does a lot to you. RDR is a good fighter. He's a double champ from a former organization, despite the UFC being the premier one. I think a lot of people lose to RDR, and Bo Nickal's still very green to striking, to mixing the martial arts. He's been a wrestler his whole life. But yeah, he was looking good on the feet. He was outstriking Rodolfo Vieira. It looked like he was going to go to a decision. I mean, we take a look here. Round 1, just dominance, takedowns, sub attempts, significant strikes. Round 2, about the same, but Bo tried to abandon the grappling for the most part. Round 3, same thing. Bo just got more and more confident on the feet maybe, and was like, I was really talking to my friends, why doesn't Bo want to shoot? And I'm like, maybe he thinks he has hands. And I don't think he has hands, but he's got feet. He's got pasty, cankled feet, and they can go up to your head. And he KO'd Rodolfo Vieira. It was a beautiful KO. I'm excited to see what Nickal can do next. I don't know how much of a step up he should get. Rodolfo Vieira's, nothing crazy. I don't even know if he was in the rankings during this fight. I don't know if Bo is either. He should be. But yeah, still a great win for Bo Nickal. Glad to see him back in the mix, especially with a filthy statement like that, showing that he's not just a decision merchant, and he can strike now. So good for Bo Nickal. Excited to see what comes next. We move on. Oh my God, it makes me so happy reliving this. I actually cooked up a parlay seconds before this fight started, and seconds into the fight, it was over. Because I thought Beneil's careful. He looked good against Moicano. I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. Bless you. Thank you. But yeah, Beneil looked good against Moicano, so I was like, I'm predicting a BSD finish, but I didn't think it'd be so early. I had Benoit over 30-something strikes because I thought it would be a dogfight and he'd get it in the later rounds. But no, I mean, pretty much the first exchange that they actually went for, Beneil, jab, Benoit's going for, wild kicks, a shot, falls, kind of trips on bottom, ends up in a clinch, tries an uppercut, blocks, ducks, hook, sleeps Beneil out cold. It was insane. I was so happy to, lose a parlay that quickly in. That was amazing. That just shows that Moicano math doesn't work. I think Beneil's pretty much done. He's old. His chin isn't great, clearly. I think you should maybe not call it. I'm sure he could probably stick around another year or two at, the top 10 level. But Benoit Saint Denis coming into his own. It seems like when he first got into the UFC, he was very reckless. I remember his first fight. I was like, ref, stop the fight. He's dying, if I remember correctly. He was getting the absolute piss beat out of him, pretty much Miragliotta level stoppage. And then he kind of came into his own, was doing good, and then he went against Poirier and he got reckless, and he got slept again. But he's looked good since. Beat Huffy, coming off momentum, a slick striker there, he just subbed him, didn't care. And Beneil, a guy he's usually pretty defensively sound with his striking and, his rear body kick and distance management, slept him out cold 16 seconds in. Beautiful work by Benoit Saint Denis. I'm really excited to see what happens next. He was, doing the Charles du Bronx title thing. I still think he's one performance, very impressive performance, if not 2 regular performances away from another title shot, especially with the mix-up that's happening at lightweight, because Islam semi-welcomed Ilia Toporia's call out again. But Ilia's got to defend 155. He's doing this Conor shit now where he wants to move up. He's leaving his wife. Next thing you know, Ilia's going to be lifting weights. Down to be a rat, yeah? That'll be hilarious if that happens. The downfall. But yeah, great win by BSD. We move on. Oh my god. Dude. Carlos Prates. Round 1, Leon looked good. Outstruck him, had his back. We all see the unimpressed Prates. But when someone has your backpack, is like backpacking you, you need to address it. Obviously, Carlos wasn't in danger. He knew what it needed to do, how to fight the hands. The strikes weren't significant from Leon. But it's like, let's have some urgency here. And he did it in round 2. He was doing his thing, and he baited Edwards into his game. Edwards did a little, like, you know, hand shuck of like, what, that's what you got? And he got Edwards out of his game. Edwards is usually a very composed fighter who's focused, who's on the back foot, who's kicking at range, who's trying to pepper the jab when you start to step in. And literally probably 5-10 seconds after from Leon, they kind of reset into exchange. Leon, you know, shakes his shoulders out, and Carlos, like, step jabs and then leaps again to extend all the way with that cross. Sleeps Leon out cold, like flies back, thunk. Like, I'm sure he's got a sore neck right now just from his head slamming against his chest and back into the canvas. It was nasty. He was out cold. His mouth was stuck open, smiling as Prates was doing the 1 or 2 ground and pound shots. Great win by Carlos Prates. What a statement. I understand 170 is kind of a logjam now because how many guys looked good tonight at 170 and what's going on. But I think Prates is a deserving title shot if they end up giving to him, if not one fight away like most of these. Like, there's just so much going on. If Brady won tonight, I think he should have indefinitely gotten it. But we'll get to that fight. But yeah, we'll get there. But again, great win for Prates. We'll move on to that fight. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. I got this wrong. As soon as I saw the size difference between them, Michael Morales looks like a different human. Like a heavyweight compared to like a 170 Sean Brady. I was amazed at the size difference, and I was like, this isn't gonna go good. My gut feeling immediately switched, and we saw it. Any exchanges that Brady tried to go into or that Michael was just imposing. Brady was like shy on the back foot. You know he couldn't close that distance, and if you got a hold of him, I'm sure the strength and size of Morales would have definitely bucked him off, and it worked. Anything that Morales was throwing at Brady was a clubbing shot that really got Brady's attention, and before you know it, he got a pretty good combo put on him that dropped him. It wasn't a great stoppage, but you could just see that the fight was going to go that way regardless. So I think it was really good. But yeah, this shakes up 170 because if Brady won, indefinite title shot. He's been deserved it since he messed up Leon. But the thing about Morales is I could see them not giving him the title shot. I understand it's a weird, freaky matchup between, you know, him being semi-zesty and Islam being, like, you know, and him being so big. Like, is Islam going to be able to get a hold of him that large and keep him down? And with him not being afraid to go for it, like, wildly swinging these clubbing shots. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they give Morales a title shot. I'm very unfamiliar with his recent win streak. I know it was Gilbert Burns, and then I think this. It's pretty good, but Gilbert Burns has kind of been a shadow of himself. And I don't know. We have to look at Prates. We need to look at what happens with Gary Bilal. All sorts of different things to consider here, so I don't want to start talking shop too much. I'll probably drop a video on that sometime in this next week or two when things play out. But yeah, great win for Michael Morales. Just put it on him. I'm very sad for Sean Brady. I really thought he was deserving of that 170 shot after that Leon performance. But he wanted to prove that he was the rightful challenger, and unfortunately he came up short against Michael Morales. But a great showing for Morales. We move up the card. Boring! Valentina Shevchenko defeats Zhang Weili via 5 rounds of Yoel Romero stance countering and half guard camping. It was impressive. Size matters no matter what she tells you, fellas. Zhang Weili was too small. She definitely got hit with the bigger strikes from Shevchenko. She lost pretty much every grappling sequence. I don't even know if she got any off of her own. 0 of 1, 5 of 6. It was very good showing for Valentina Shevchenko. I don't have much to say about this fight. I mean, every round was the same. Striking on the feet where Shevchenko looked good. Zhang got too close. Valentina got the takedown. Usually a single leg into like a trip. Or I think at one point Zhang just went for her own takedown and then Shevchenko just completely reversed it. It was really kind of lackluster of a fight despite the hype of this being one of the greatest skilled WMMA fights of all time. But it is what it is. I guess I'm going to wrap it up there on that one. We're going to move up to the main event. JDM versus Islam Makhachev. Now, I don't even know where to start because, like, we know what happened. 30 to 140. 30 of them were significant. JDM just couldn't get up, dude. And Islam camped half guard and just did enough to not get stood up. It was really boring, I'll be honest. I really hate the term dominance in this, like domination, destroyed. Because JDM walked out of the arena with maybe a scratch on his face. And I understand the photo of him wincing. I'm sure something was injured. Maybe one of Islam's heavy leg kicks messed up his knee, and then the repeated takedowns kind of, like, what's the word? Just made it worse. You know what I mean? And JDM just couldn't get his striking off. It was a really good performance by Islam Makhachev. I'm curious to see how his reign at 170 goes. I really don't know if I'm going to chuck him in the GOAT conference. Agitate, that's the word I was looking for, sorry. But I really don't know if he's GOAT conf. I'm seeing all the Glazers who only come around for his fights and no other fights of the year talk about how he's the GOAT. I literally saw like a strong like MMA media page be like, Islam has the longest streak in UFC history. He just tied Anderson. Calm down. Like, the Glaze is insane. This is potential legacy. He's a potential GOAT. I'm here for it. But if you rush these things, it's going to get very annoying, very overplayed, just very tiresome. And then people are going to start questioning his legacy. Like, some of his fights were way closer than they should have been. Maybe he wasn't such a dominant champion. People are going to start saying this. I don't agree with this. But, like, there's going to be these narratives, whether they're complete baloney or there's some truth to them. I just don't like all of this talk of domination and GOAT and just stuffs it down your throat, really. But still a great showing for Islam Makhachev. Obviously, I don't even know. I wanted Jack to win, but I did have that fear in the back of my mind that Islam would be pretty good with the takedowns. I know Jack's good, but, I mean, it looked like he couldn't even get up. I'm wondering if there was some injury affecting his ability to post on his leg or something. Maybe his rib was cracked just from like a takedown exchange or something, but it sucks, man. I hope Islam is a decent champion. He's not too active of a fighter, maybe once, twice a year, which is, I guess, average for a champ, but like, if his fights are going to be that where they're decision, and it's just like, I wish there was control time each round, but I think he had 19 minutes of control time. The thing is, he wasn't ground and pounding and bloodying up Jack. He was just threatening the guillotine, getting him in a crucifix, landing peppering shots to not get stood up. There just wasn't anything that solidified, like, he really just destroyed him. Like Jack couldn't even, like, walk out. Like, it's just, he just sat in half guard, dude. Like, it's not fun. It is not fun. Like, obviously it's mixed martial arts. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I wrestled in high school. I get it. It makes sense. If it works, it works. But as a fan, I'm allowed to have an opinion. That was boring. I'm not trying to watch ADCC. You know what I mean? Like, and Islam's an all-time great, and it's not even because I'm a fan of Jack. This could be somebody I hate. And just sitting in half guard for 19 minutes with Jack not even having a bloody nose at the end of the fight from anything, or any deep sub attempts. I mean, he escaped all rear naked attempts. Anything else that Islam tried to set up. It's just boring, man. I don't really know how else to say it. And if you want to call me a casual and go watch kickboxing, you can type your little comments down there. And I'm going to laugh my ass off knowing what a loser you are for that thought process that you find this fun, MMA Joe, you fat tub of lard. Yeah, man. I hope Islam's a fun champ. This was not a fun fight. And obviously there's some, I don't know if you can put blame on Della Maddalena. He was trying to get up. He did get up at times. He countered a takedown really well and then kind of just ended up on bottom from the Wizard. It was a very disappointing performance to watch for him. I think he's got some things he really needs to work on, or maybe Islam's just that good. Either way, it's boring. I don't really have anything else to say about that. Like, I was very excited for this card. Most of it delivered. The co-main and main just stunk it up. Like, just boo. I mean, Dylan Dennis versus John Pork was more entertaining than this, but I digress. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. Thank you all for watching. Again, no hate to Islam. I can have my own personal opinion. He'll do great things, I think. And I could definitely agree with him being the GOAT if he gets another good win or two. Maybe 3 if they're not 2 good wins, like name-wise. But I'm curious to see if this was just how he's going to look at 170 or if this was just styles make fights and he looked good. Because at 155, he had a lot of wars. So maybe this was a style thing. I don't know. I want to see what happens. Maybe a bigger guy, because they were the same size. and Islam carries most of his weight in his upper body where he grapples with it. Maybe a Morales fight, maybe a Prates fight. He might, ragdoll Prates, but maybe Prates will get that one down the pipe that puts him down like he did Leon. I don't know. But if he beats all of them, legacy, cool. I just want to see some fun fights. But I'll go ahead and wrap up the video here. Thank y'all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Anything helps. I'm so appreciative of all the viewers that I have up to this point. But yeah, I don't know if we have a fight night coming up soon. I can't quite recall. But I'm looking forward to the Merab Petr Yan card. I'm sure Merab will probably win by Grapple Fest, but it's okay because set your expectations low and you'll never be disappointed. Such is life as an MMA fan. Merab is entertaining. It'll probably be more entertaining in comparison to this or DDP versus Hamzat. But again, I'll go ahead and shut up. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you had a good night and didn't lose any money on these fights. See ya.